CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Nasha Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories. We begin with breaking news. Chopper 4 over the scene in Medley. You can see heavy police activity. This is along Northwest 87th Avenue and 91st Street. Air rescue landed in the middle of the street. One person was taken to the hospital. CBS News Miami's Peter Dinch is covering the story. He will have the very latest coming up at 5. A shakeup at Broward County Public Schools. Superintendent Doctor Peter Licata has retired. CBS News Miami's Joan Murray has the report.
It was a bombshell moment. Dr. Peter Licata, on the job barely a year, announced he is retiring as superintendent of the Broward County School District. He cited health reasons.
I'm certainly not being forced out. There's no question about that. I think by everyone's belief that they were surprised by this. This is something that happened over the weekend, Friday. I spoke with one of my doctors, and he said, you're going to just have to spend, I've been working on this for a while, and he just indicated it's, you got some choices to make. When I talk to my kids, they're very happy, because having grandkids and not seeing them much is not what it's about. Not what it's about. I lost my father at 59, my grandfather at 62. I've lost an older brother at 57. I'm 59, I've outlived my dad, and I want to make sure I outlive everybody else too.
Taking over is one of Licata's right-hand administrators, Howard Hepburn. He says he will continue what Dr. Licata's mission has been. The board is now having to negotiate an exit package for Dr. Licata and a new 3-year contract for Howard Hepburn. Coming up at 5 o'clock, we'll have more on Hepburn's story and what lies ahead for the district. In Fort Lauderdale, Joan Murray, CBS News Miami.
And that was CBS News Miami's Joan Murray reporting. Donald Trump back in court for day 2 of jury selection. This is in his hush money trial. On Monday, 96 prospective jurors were sworn in and questioned, but more than half were excused. The former president faces 34 felony counts. CBS News Miami's Michael George reports from New York.
Former President Trump was back in court for day 2 of jury selection in his hush money trial.
Some accountant, I didn't know, marked it down as a legal expense. That's exactly what it was. And you get indicted over that?
On Monday, the first batch of 96 prospective jurors were questioned, with more than half excused after saying they could not be fair and impartial. And as questioning moves forward, CBS News legal analyst Ricky Kleeman says both sides need to look out for so-called stealth jurors.
The juror who answers everything perfectly because he or she wants to be on that jury and vote the way that he or she does not appear that they will vote.
Trump is accused of scheming to funnel payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels through his former lawyer Michael Cohen to cover up an alleged affair when he was running for president in 2016. Both could be potential witnesses at the trial, and last week Trump slammed them on social media, calling them sleazebags. Prosecutors want Trump to be held in contempt for violating a gag order. A hearing on that will be held later this month.
This is all coming from the Biden White House because the guy can't put 2 sentences together.
Trump denies any wrongdoing and calls the proceeding a politically motivated witch hunt. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
Wow, taking a live look outside. A beautiful day across South Florida and a beautiful day to be out in the water. Next weather meteorologist Cindy Pressler already looking ahead to the weekend as well.
Aren't we all?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I know it's only Tuesday, but we're going to have a nice week coming up in the weekend, although temperatures will be up, humidity up a little bit, still overall looking pretty good. So this is what we're looking forward to. Breezy and warm pattern. Well, you know what? That's going to stick around. Winds today gusting to 29 miles per hour out of the east. They'll back down a little bit, but we're going to stay in that range. Temperatures warming to the upper 80s by this weekend. Next front really doesn't get in here until about Tuesday, so until then, warm, dry, dominated by a large ridge of high pressure, kind of scooting around out here in the Gulf of Mexico, but it extends across the peninsula and out into the Atlantic. There are some clouds that are trying to develop today, and that's just because a very little bit of moisture at the surface is kind of sneaking in here underneath that ridge, and that's producing these fair weather clouds. The driest of air has now moved off to the south and east, but it is still dry out there, believe me. We're not expecting to see much in the form of any rain. So easterly winds gusting to 24 miles per hour at this hour. The general flow will continue to be out of the east, and with those winds still gusty this afternoon into tomorrow, we now have a high rip current risk that's going to run through Wednesday evening along the beaches from Broward County through Miami-Dade. Does include Haulover Beach, Miami Beach, any of the beaches. Be careful. Humidity levels still not bad at all. Really, we're going to put this in the comfortable level. They're going to slowly creep up a little bit over the next few days, along with the temperatures. Look at this warm up here. 86 on Friday, Saturday, Sunday 87, 88 degrees on Monday. That's ahead of this next frontal system that wants to slide it in here. But we've got to get this ridge of high pressure out of here before we can see any kind of big changes to our weather pattern. So dry, breezy again tomorrow. Winds again gusting to 25 miles per hour. Thursday and Friday, dry and even warmer. And now you start to see that next cold front coming in, but it really won't make any kind of a difference until we get into next week. So here you go. Lots of sunshine, just a few fair weather clouds. Temperatures up, up, up. Slight chance for showers. Best chance is going to pop in by Tuesday.
We have an update on the case of a man tased and shot several times by Miami police. A hearing for Donald Armstrong took place this morning. His charges are now downgraded. Armstrong was shot several times in front of his Miami home last month. It was shortly after police responded to a mental health call. Armstrong was originally charged with aggravated assault on a police officer. Now he faces misdemeanor resisting arrest charges. His attorneys say all charges should be dropped.
Resisting without violence. The premise is first person was placed under arrest or stated that he was under arrest, and then he resisted. In this case, he was never informed that he was under arrest, so to file charges of resisting without arrest, I think that is utterly ridiculous under these circumstances.
Armstrong was not in court today. His attorneys say they want him out of police custody so he can get proper mental health treatment. A warning is out from Sunpass to not fall victim to a new scam. The scam is sent through text messages. It claims to be Sunpass and includes a link to make payments to prevent extra fees. This is part of a scam to steal your personal and credit card information. Hollywood is looking for ways to get people into homes that they can afford, and this is in the middle of this affordability crisis that our area is facing. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten reports on where things stand today.
Finding affordable housing these days is very difficult, but the city of Hollywood is getting creative. They're selling a city-owned home and giving the first-time home buyer some help to get it. This property is located in north central Hollywood on Cleveland Street. The price is $350,000, but the city is offering up to $170,000 in subsidies, and the city touts the house as move-in ready.
All of our housing rehabilitations are done with hurricane impact windows. It got a new roof, new water heater, new flooring, new central AC system.
There are income requirements for something like this. Anyone's able to apply. However, Hollywood residents are given priority. The deadline to apply is May 1st, but keep in mind, this is first come, first served. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're speaking to a mom who was able to take advantage of a similar offering in Hollywood, how it made a difference for her family of 5. In Hollywood, Ted Scouten, CBS News Miami.
Hundreds of people in our community looking for new opportunities gathered at Miami Vineyard Church. 10 employers from our area met with people looking for jobs. The job fair was open to everyone, but the event focused on people who were previously incarcerated to help them get back on their feet.
This event is really important because individuals who have been formerly incarcerated have so many barriers to getting employed. So what we're doing here today is bringing down all of those walls that are put up for individuals who have a criminal history.
Coming up at 6, we hear from some of the people who attended that fair. When we come back, efforts to de-escalate. A look at the growing international pressure to ease tensions after Iran's attack on Israel. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. New details on the construction project that caused a traffic nightmare over the weekend for people in Key Biscayne. Earlier today, contractors for the Florida Department of Transportation reopened the flyover ramp to southbound I-95 and US 1. The northbound flyover ramp to I-95 was opened on Monday morning. The world is waiting to see how Israel will respond to Iran's drone and missile attack from over the weekend. The chief of staff for the Israeli military hasn't said when or how the response would come, but there is growing international pressure to de-escalate. Iran launched more than 300 projectiles into the country. Only 5 made it through Israel's air defense system, causing damage to a military base. The High Court is hearing arguments from a former Pennsylvania police officer. Officials say he stormed the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. The Supreme Court will consider whether laws in place can be used against the rioters and whether the convictions already secured will stick. The court's decision could also have significant ramifications for the former president. And here's a look at what is coming up all new on CBS News Miami at 5. It is countdown to draft day. The Dolphins general manager talks to our Mike Cunyo about the strategy behind the Fins' first-round pick. That's ahead at 5. That's your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a wonderful day.